Well, guys, it finally happened. There she is. That is now my Dance Dance Revolution solo machine. And there is the dance pad, which is in rough shape to say the least. Yeah, so I finally tracked one of these down. They're humongous pain in the ass to find, and I was really hoping it wouldn't take nearly this many years to finally track one down, but you know, the dance pad market and just dance arcade machines in general, they've kind of skyrocketed. You know, like if you rewind like 3 or 4 years ago, you could probably get a DDR machine for $1,000. It wouldn't be so uncommon, but now like trying to find one like under $3,000 or $4,000 is quite the task. So finding like just even like a destroyed solo machine like this one, it took me a long time, and this one, let me tell you, needs a lot of love. So I figured we'll start this video off by kind of showing you guys what's all wrong with it, and kind of going over why this is so rare, and kind of the weird stuff going on with this machine in particular, because it kind of seems to have a bizarre backstory. But anyways, let's start off with, you know, what is DDR Solo for those that like aren't really familiar. So DDR Solo came out in, I think, 1999 actually. I think that's when Solo Bass Mix came out, and it was to kind of make DDR not take up as much space in an arcade center in Japan, because obviously in Japan space is a premium, so they made a solo model of DDR which only had one dance pad. And you would think that would make sense, but it just never really caught on. It didn't save up that much space really, because like look at how big this machine is. Like the dance pad and then like the machine itself. And this machine is tall. It's super tall. It's like 7 feet tall. It is ridiculously tall. Like if I were to open my garage right now, it would be just skirting by the top of this machine. So yeah, I guess it saved a little bit of space, but realistically not very much. And yeah, they didn't really run this version of the game for very long. As far as like solo machines were made, they were only really made from like 1999, 2000, 2001 maybe. I really think they really only made them for roughly 2 years. So you either got Solo Bass Mix or you got Solo 2000, and then they came out 4th Mix as an upgrade kit, 4th Mix Plus, and then the series was dead. You couldn't upgrade this cabinet anymore. So that's kind of what's crazy about this machine. And as you can tell, the dance pad is a little bit bizarre compared to like a normal DDR machine. It doesn't have 4 panels. Well, this one does right now because 2 of them have gone missing. I don't know what the story is behind that. But actually, the solo version of machines had an extra feature where you could dance using 6 panels. So they added the 4 regular arrows up, down, left, right, but they also added 1 in the up left corner and 1 in the up right corner, which is what these green arrows are here, obviously. So, but yeah, like, look at this dance stage. This is crazy because if you actually look at it from a distance, you're gonna be like, huh, that looks a little off, almost like they put a dance pad inside like a metal frame. But that's exactly what this is. I know that sounds really bizarre, but when like Solo Bass Mix came out, it came out and it only had like this dance stage, and it was 100% flat on the floor, and there was no bar, there's nothing. It was literally just like the dance pad, and it was like an inch off the ground. Like it's really bizarre looking, but that's actually the pad right here. And it actually is this whole dance pad inside of a metal enclosure around the outside. So everything you see around like this little like pyramid boxy area, like running all the way across, that external metal frame with like the blue, purple, orange, and yellow lights, that was an upgrade kit. So this is called the deluxe stage for DDR Solo, and It's pretty, I wouldn't say that it's uncommon because it seems like a lot of machines got upgraded, but they tend to sell for a little bit more if you have the deluxe stage included, and of course that also allowed the machine to have a bar. And the bar is weird. It's not straight. It's actually angled. So check this out. It is literally at an angle because the deluxe upgrade kit would mean that the bar would actually mount like here on the regular dance stage, but the problem is it's already been accounted for, so they had to like build it into the upgrade kit metal frame and then bend the bar inwards. So this is just so weird. Like the stories behind how Konami went about making this machine and how it just failed just drastically in the short term. It's just kind of a crazy story. And as you can see, even the inside of the panels is different. You know, like, take a look at the inside here. It doesn't go down very far because, like, this is literally the end of the regular dance stage. Like, this was basically how far up it was. Like, it's not much. It's probably legitimately like an inch to 2 inches. And that was like the whole dance stage. So you look at like a beefy like double stage and like that's like 3, 4, 5 inches, something crazy like that. Yeah, this was like literally half the size. So they did a bunch of weird quirky things so it didn't use as many parts and the stage was lighter and they tried to make it a lot more simpler. So instead of like having like this metal frame around like the exterior that the sensor sat on, they put these rubber like feet around the outside and just got rid of 2 of the sensors and put 2 sensors in the center of the panel instead of like one around each corner or each end of the box essentially. But yeah, that's just kind of quirky at the end of the day, and you would think that would make sense. Like, oh well, yeah, you press the panels like in the center when you play Dance Dance Revolution, but this actually ended up not being nearly as sensitive, and a lot of people kind of hate on these dance pads because when you start playing on it, you will notice immediately something's off. It's very strange feeling. You might not notice it at first, but the more and more you play, you're just like, something doesn't feel right here. So that's kind of crazy how this was all engineered on the inside. But yeah, this is kind of its own crazy story, and I'm sure I'm going to find some more wonderful things about this guy, but the cabinet. Okay, so this DDR SOLO cabinet, as soon as I got in yesterday, I have been looking at information on where the fuck this came from, because as far as I can tell, I opened up the back of it. It looks like it has not been played in at least 10 years. I legitimately think that this was imported and it never worked, and it has just sat around throughout the years in storage and in people's homes and stuff like that, and it has never turned on since then. So let me show you some identification things that make me think that. So first things first, the dead giveaway here is the sticker. It says sume.com .tw. And if you don't know, .tw means that it's a Taiwanese URL. So it's based in Taiwan, that URL. So if you actually go to this website, it does exist still today, but it's not the same company. So I went on the Wayback Machine, and you wouldn't believe it. Back in 2000, I think actually it was 2001, they had a website, and it was advertising music video games for sale and lease. in Taiwan. And if you think that's crazy too, like you're just like, maybe it's just coincidence. Look at this. It's a new Taiwan dollar 10, NT10. That's what the coin mech is. So this had to have been used by Sume in Taiwan, and somehow it miraculously made it stateside. This company, from what I can tell, actually folded in 2001, 2002. Like, they didn't last very long. It looked like right around like when 2DX got to like third style, essentially, like this company was done. And they were actually advertising DDR SOLO. They were talking about DDR third mix on the website, DDR SOLO. And yeah, I guess when the company went out of business, like some other company probably bought all their machines and brought them stateside. And that's how this got here, which is just kind of, man, it's a crazy story. So I've been trying to see if there's like more information. I thought maybe like if I got this door open, this bottom coin door, I would find like some documentation or something in there. This door is locked, and it had like some specialty key to open it, and I don't have that key, and I can promise you it is like locked. Like I can actually open this door because the lock has been drilled out, and I can try like push my fingers through this slot here and push on this door, but it's not budging. Like it's definitely locked by the cam on the opposite side. And on top of that too, but I show you guys the back side of the machine and show you how crazy it is on the inside. I can actually see inside of that door a little bit on the other side, and there's nothing in it, which is kind of disappointing, but I do want to draw out that lock because I do want to know how many places on this machine, because if I were to take a guess, I think that number is going to be quite low. So this will just be really crazy to see what's going on with this whole machine, because there's just so much crazy history in just this sticker and this coin mech. Like this is just bizarre. I've had so many machines with so much history come into my possession, but this one has a cool story. Now talking about stuff I need to do on the front of this machine. The dance pad I'm not even going to get into right now because it actually needs so much work. But before we even can work on the dance pad, we have to get the cabinet working. And there's a bunch of work that needs to be done. So first off, let's just go from top to bottom. It's missing a speaker light here. I don't know what happened to it. It's gone. It doesn't exist. There's T-molding that's missing here. Like there's a little bit left of this black T-molding, but like if you go to the top, it's gone. Like it's this cabinet's been used and abused, as you can see a bit at the top. So like we could use some black paint around here and some new black T-molding. Maybe we'll go silver even, because it kind of will match like this aesthetic on the dance cabinets. These lights, it looks like there's no lights in there, so that's kind of interesting. I'm trying to like show you it without like. You guys can kind of see in there. It doesn't look like there's any lights in there, so we'll have to figure them out. I think those are probably just like MR16s or some other like really small bulb that goes in there. This has a neon, but it's broken. I don't know if you can see it out in this picture or in this this frame here, but the tube actually is broken right there. So none of the neons work on the top, which is going to be a real bummer. I'm really hoping that I can find someone that can sell me one, or I can get one made somewhere for each side. At the very least, I have that, so I could probably bring it somewhere and be like, can you guys make me a neon that's this, just 2 times? And then I'm sure someone can make one for me. If not, I'm sure like I can find some way to use like LEDs or something like that. Come on down. Don't need to do anything here. Side note, I don't know if the monitor works. When I was talking to the seller I bought it from, he never got this powered on. He has no idea what's all wrong with it. He literally got it in his possession, it sounded like, and that was kind of the end of it. So no idea what's going on here, but everything here front side is complete, which is good. buttons, I'm sure they sound like they work. Maybe could use a good cleaning. We were gonna replace all the screws on this because like, look at how like worn and gross these are. They are so corroded, which is just crazy. Like how, like, look at that. Like they're all really bad, which is just insane. So actually behind this, if you remove this, this panel, this acrylic that has like, this is considered the marquee in the machine, by the way. You can actually open a door and access the 573. It has a lock on it, so I'll probably have to draw out the lock, unfortunately. So I have to replace 3 locks on here. 1, 2, 3. The back door doesn't have a lock on it. It actually just has screws, so that's easy. I don't want to change this at all. This is just funky and part of its history, which I love. I don't want to change anything like that. Obviously, in regards to drilling out that lock, we got to drill out this lock too. And other than that, this bottom piece here, not in very good shape. As you can see, it's peeling up quite badly in a few places. This side's not so bad. It needs to be cleaned up, but this side's peeling bad. But you can see these holes here, just along the bottom trim. There's actually a kick plate that goes there. And the reason why the kick plate exists is because I don't think they realized when they were manufacturing this, but this cabinet is so front heavy. Like, I barely have to touch it, and it wants to fall over onto me. And all of them are like that. So it is just weird. So at the very least, whenever I get this into its like actual placement in my garage, I'm going to make sure I get those legs down and hopefully find someone that wants to sell me their kick plate or a used kick plate to stop this from wanting to tip over all the time. Other things that we're missing on the front here, we're actually missing the connector tube. And I'm sure I can finagle like one for a doubles cab to work here. But in regards to that too, we're also missing the harness that connects this to this. So that's going to be fun trying to figure that out. But I'm sure, because I've had 20 years of working on arcade machines at this point, over 20 years, like realistically, I'm sure I can figure it out. You know, I've worked on arcade machines and console games basically for a majority of my life. So I feel like I'm a smart cookie and I can wire something up and make it work, which won't be so much of a big deal. It's more about making this proper at the end of the day. Yeah, this dance pad, I don't even know where to start. We'll figure that out a little bit farther down the road. But basically, I know, so for starters, we got to put that bar on here. And then after that, who fucking knows? Like, this needs so much work on its own. Like, this is going to probably have to get absolutely torn apart. But one thing I did notice when I was coming in here to film is this deluxe stage, I don't think it has ever been used. And I'm gonna show you one of the reasons why I think that. So if you actually look at these lights, these like little light strips, there is something fishy going on with the panel that's on the top that you're supposed to be able to have the light shine through. Look, it's never been unwrapped. I can peel off the wrap, the protective film. All of it still has the protective film on it, which is crazy, and they're all like that. So I think that it literally, they must have put the upgrade on it, and then the company must have folded, and they just sold the machine, which is crazy, because like you look at this dance pad, and it is rusty. Like, this needs to be, I don't even know at this point, like what's gonna be best to get all this rust out. But like the decals are destroyed, but the stage, like the deluxe stage attachment, I don't think ever got used in an arcade environment, which is crazy. Like, it might make sense a little bit because like some of these decals are actually in really, really good shape. Like, that is probably the best looking, like, back of a solo machine I've ever seen. And the fact that even one of these stickers looks like it was brand new, like, I don't know, something's fishy. So I have a very good inkling that this might not have ever been used once it got put into the deluxe stage on the outside. But who knows? Let me show you the back of this monster so you can see how bad it is. Because if you think the outside is bad, the inside's worse. So let me turn this machine around so we can get some light in there. And I'll show you kind of what I'm working with here. So hold on a second. All right, here we are, the back of the DDR SOLO machine. So as you can see from a distance, there's some funky things going on here. So those hinges, I don't know why they installed them. I'm sure they probably locked it when it was out on location at some point. I think that's a little overkill. I don't know if there was really any reason for that because it screws down. So I don't know. Maybe that was like a concern at some point. I think that's super overkill though. I've never seen someone like try to go behind a machine and like try to steal stuff out of it. That's just kind of crazy. Like it's kind of useless stuff for the most part that people just would not be interested in. But for starters, fourth mix is installed on this machine, but on the inside we have a mystery security cartridge, which I'm going to assume is probably Solo base mix. We have Solo 2000, and we have the disc for Solo 2000 as well, as you can see. Now, I'm going to try to show you just how dirty this is. Let me put this down for a second. So, this black label here, it's not supposed to be black. Let's see if I can... Oh my god, the dust is so caked on here. I actually can't get it removed. Like, oh my god. Like, I think that's the most dirty I've ever seen these. I can't even get the dust off. Like, it's caked on my finger. It is next level dirty inside this machine. I am trying to get as much light in here as I can, so I might be fighting the camera a little bit, but holy shit. I am not kidding you. This is probably the dirtiest arcade machine I've ever been in. I have some concerns with the amount of dirt when it comes to like the monitor. I'm afraid to turn that on without making sure all the dust and dirt and our stuff is completely blown off of that chassis. So we're gonna make sure that's nice and clean before we ever power this machine on. You can see cobwebs, spider garbage, like cobwebs, spider nests. I'm sure there's spider eggs and other shit in here too. This isn't so bad. When you start getting lower, holy shit. It's like pure black. Like, I really don't know if you guys can see. Let me try to grab this light. It's like right here. So hold on. I'm gonna grab this and try to show you. This is how bad it is. Oh my god. I am shocked by how bad this is. It is definitely the most dirty arcade machine I think I'm ever going to have to work on. And that says a lot because I worked on Easy2DJ, which was out in the field for like at least a week, maybe 2 weeks. And this is somehow dirtier. I thought maybe this was like mold down here, but I think it's just residue. There's not like any fungus or anything growing down there, but it's definitely marked up and it's definitely gotten wet at some point down there. When I bought this from the seller, he said the power supply doesn't work. And the power supply is not connected to the cabinet. So that's a little concerning. I don't know if I even want to like go digging much farther down inside of this cabinet. Maybe it's not so bad, but the base of this cabinet is absolutely disgusting. Yeah, this is going to be a lot of work. And let's move up a little bit so you guys can kind of see the inside here. This level is not so bad. This is bad. Oh my god! Like look at the top of the 573. Like it's black. It's not supposed to be black. It's disgusting. And like, oh god! Like there's so much dirt and dust and oh god, this is gonna be. It's gonna be a lot of cleaning. I'm gonna get my hands dirty to say the least. But there you guys go. You can see how easy this is to tip over here, which is kind of funny. It's just like, oh, yeah, if you tip it like from the back, it will fall over 100% of the time. Yeah, it really will. But there you guys go. That is a look at this DDR SOLO machine. I'm going to be restoring it a little bit day by day on my days off until hopefully the job is done. I would love to have this working, I don't know, by the end of October. Right now it's just the start of September. It's September 3rd as I'm videotaping this now. So I have some time. I just don't know how much time I'm gonna need because I don't know what is all working. I don't know if like the 573 works. I don't know if the CRT works. I don't know if the amp works. I don't know if the power supply works. I don't know if anything else on this machine is in working order, like that whole service panel might not work. And then like to top it all off, I have to worry about this. And this is gonna be like its own freaking nightmare of a project. Like I hope that I'm proven wrong and like I open up like one of these R panels like, oh, it's not so dirty underneath. And like maybe I just have to really clean this one and that one. But I'm very skeptical after seeing the inside of this game. So, but there you guys go. DDR SOLO machine project is a go, and I really hope that you guys will enjoy this series. I'm going to be a little bit more in depth with what I do every step of the way. So if anyone needs to go through the same kind of process I'm going through, hopefully you'll find my videos a little bit helpful. And hopefully you'll learn something. I really do hope that I can be a good teacher and show you kind of my troubleshooting steps, what I do to test things, how I test things, and basically how I can get this from a non-working thing that's probably destined for a scrapyard and make it a fully functioning cabinet again. It's actually worth some money. I do not plan on flipping this, by the way. This is staying here. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Again, there will be update videos as I go along every step of the way here. Hopefully this doesn't have to be thrown into a dumpster. I don't think that will be the case. I think that we're gonna be fine, but hey, you never know. Like maybe I'll turn on the machine and it just starts on fire. I've had that happen before, not on a DDR machine, but yeah. Cool stuff. Thank you guys again for watching. Don't forget to subscribe so you guys can get the updates. Follow me on my Twitch. Follow me on my Discord, my Twitter, for all that good stuff. But until then, have a good one. Bye-bye.